Everyone loves a CRM. We need a CRM. Let's buy a CRM. A CRM will fix all of our problems. Well, no. Everyone is going nuts for a CRM at the moment, and LinkedIn is flooded with people trying to flog you a CRM or advise you on how to buy a CRM or which CRM to buy. CRM seems to be the hot thing in the market, but is it really? Or is it just another set of magic beans? In this video, I'll talk you through some of my experiences and give you some top tips to decide if you're ready for a CRM, what the alternatives could be, and why you might want them. Let's go. So first, let's quickly clarify what I talk about when I'm talking about a CRM. Well, for a start, the acronym stands for Customer Relationship Management, but most people, when they see CRM, they mean Customer Relationship Management System. This is a system that should present all of the information you need to answer, log, deal with, track, and close your customer inquiries on one screen and enable you to transact them in the back office system. Sounds perfect, right? One screen to rule them all. How precious! Well, absolutely. In its purest form, if well implemented, a CRM will do exactly that. I've had visits to some corporate CRMs and some third sector CRMs that have blown me away in terms of their ability and efficiency. The customer calls were dealt with straight away. All of the information was to hand, and anything that needed to be passed on to a back office was done so and tracked through the CRM. Statistics and analytics were available to evidence levels of customer service and track customer response times. Agents were helped through the process with guides and prompting, but not scripting. The payback in this sort of scenario is a significant reduction in the amount of time customers spend on a call, a significant reduction in the repeat calls and follow-up calls, and a much higher level of customer satisfaction. This in turn leads to lower call volumes, which means lower staffing requirements. The analytics available from a great CRM will also help you determine what, when, and how your customer contacts are coming in, allowing you to capacity plan your customer service team really effectively. Lastly, the great CRMs help you deal with multi-channel contact, so not just calls, but texts, social media, and more recently, WhatsApp and more diverse channels. It's sounding better and better, isn't it? So we should all go out and buy one now. Well, unsurprisingly, there are a number of downsides. One of the biggest barriers to this sort of customer nirvana is technical integration. If your CRM hopes to transact customer requirements into core business systems like finance, HR, operational systems, and that customized database that someone in IT once built, then we have a problem. Now, already I can hear the frantic typing of the sales and marketing people in the various CRM suppliers commenting that they are fully integrated and they're already providing this sort of one-stop shop. Well, as I've outlined above, I've seen this happen, so I know it can be done. But in one of our major sectors, which is social housing, there are very few examples of business-wide integration. Some of this comes from the reluctance of core business system providers to open their systems with high-quality suites of web services. There are plenty of very talented CRM providers out there, but if they can't transact back into your housing, HR, or finance systems, then how are they supposed to provide this all-singing, all-dancing CRM? The integration of data from those systems into the CRM is a little easier, as reading data from a given system is, on the whole, far more available than writing back into it. Many core business systems, not just in housing, but in many sectors, would prefer or insist that the only CRM you could effectively use is their own because it's integrated into their system and one of their modules. Even if this were the case, and they had the best CRM for the job, sadly, in my experience, that CRM is typically limited to that system and can't really bring in information from other parts of the business. Therefore, it restricts the function of the CRM to be effectively a flashy front end to deal with transactions that you could already deal with in a couple of other parts of the system. It's like all of the main providers are refusing to play in the park because only they can play with their football. It's maddening. Now, this isn't true of all providers in all markets, and some have fantastic open web services, but this is the challenge. Only with the right suite of systems and some great integration technology will you achieve the aforementioned CRM nirvana. The other issue here is cost. What budget would you expect to need for a CRM? 100,000? $250,000? $1 million? There are CRM projects in social housing that have costs in excess of £1 million and rising. Remember, any penny spent on software is a penny not spent on your core business purpose. So, If you're corporate, that's off your bottom line. If you're third sector, a penny spent is a penny not given on your mission of aid to Africa or rehoming donkeys or preventing homelessness. That's a tough sell to any board. So what are the options? I recently took part in a conversation on LinkedIn which suggested that Salesforce was a great way to go and that there were some great options there. Most organizations seem to be planning Dynamics installations. That's because that's the way the market is going, and I've worked with resellers of NetSuite who also explained that theirs was absolutely the system to go for. There are plenty of platforms out there, each of whom would all tell you that they offer everything, and some of them probably do. But in my experience, many organizations feel that a CRM is a magic bullet to sort out all of their issues. This is the single biggest mistake in all of the CRM projects I've seen. CRM will absolutely provide benefits, however, it will not fix bad management, poor processes, staff attitude, or fundamentally inefficient businesses. Think of it like this. Whatever you're planning to do when you get your CRM, you should already be able to do now, but in a less joined up way. So let's take social housing as an example. Can your contact center operator log a repair, take a complaint, deal with a rent inquiry, set up an arrangement, take a payment for a sales ledger customer, provide information on your market rented arm, set up a telecare account and process other transactions from your top 20 list of calls? It may be clunky and they may have to go into 2 or 3 different systems, but they should be able to do it. If, in order to do all of these things, a customer would have to speak to multiple different departments because different people are trained on different things or different roles and responsibilities exist for those different functions, then perhaps your processes and your staff training need to be considered before you spend more money on a magic bean CRM than it would take to build an entire scheme of houses. You absolutely need to do all of your design, process refinement, staff training, and customer journey mapping in order to understand what you want a CRM to do. Only then can you have reasonable conversations with a very excitable and super keen sales staff and look at the shiny new CRM they want to sell you. But to be fair, being pre-armed with that information makes their job easier and makes projects 10 times more likely to succeed. What are the alternatives if it's so hard to get a great CRM? Well, for smaller organizations or organizations that can't justify the spend, let's look at the alternatives. Number 1, do nothing. You've probably run your business and jumped around multiple systems for many years quite successfully without a CRM. There are plenty of efficiencies and customer service opportunities that do not require a CRM. Your processes can be remodeled to plug gaps that a CRM would have plugged, like transaction tracking. I saw exactly this in an organization with a simple call logging system on the SharePoint, which took only a few days to create. Not as slick as a £500,000 CRM, but definitely effective. Number 2, consider what you have. Some of the organizations I work with start talking about the CRM without realizing they already have one or a limited version of one. Many core business systems do include customer enquiry tracking, and while it might not be multi-system, perhaps it will encompass 95% of your inquiries. Why not invite your account manager in to show you what's possible and what you have to do before you go out and spend money on a system you may not need to spend it on? If you spent that time looking at what you have, how it would work, and use great reporting to put a traffic lighted dashboard on, that could be displayed in the contact center on a TV. You just then achieved 80% of what a CRM would have done with about 5% of the cost. Number 3, jump from A to C. A well-implemented CRM is great, there's no doubt, but customer service is moving on, and while call centers will always exist and some customers will always want to ring, it's an expensive way to transact business. Take a look at my other video on channel shifting, which I'll link in the description below. Moving customers to a digital channel to self-serve will massively reduce the cost and requirements of a CRM, as the money you would have spent on that can be used to create a fantastic customer app. I recently switched my business banking from Barclays to Starling. It's been voted the best business bank and has no branches. I've never spoken to anyone in a call center, and I'm desperately happy as a customer because that app does everything I need it to do. Maybe you could become the Starling of your industry, skip the CRM and invest that money in your app. So let's summarize. Don't take away a negative message here. A great CRM is fantastic and it saves money and increases customer satisfaction. It also provides a fantastic level of insight into your business operations. If you don't have one and can do no more to improve your business without it, fill your boots. I wholeheartedly recommend you get one. It'll make you slicker than a greased cougar sliding down an ice rink. If you are shouting at the screen that a CRM is part of the change process and an engine for business transformation, well, yes and no. It's simply an enabler, and an expensive one at that. Investing in a CRM will not fix anything in a broken business in and of itself. The vast majority of CRMs are a half job bolted on and badly integrated, or not integrated at all, into reluctant core business system providers. What a CRM is not is a magic bullet to fix a business that needs great management, fundamental change, and, to use the buzzword in the industry, transformation. I've seen some huge businesses paralyzed with indecision because they can't go out and buy an off-the-shelf CRM that will solve all of their problems overnight. My parting advice, if you're thinking of moving to a CRM, my opinion is unlikely to sway you one way or the other, but please spend the time upfront to plan, improve, and prepare. I know there are a lot of people out there that love a CRM and will sell you a CRM and will think differently. That's absolutely fine. Feel free to comment and to disagree below. However, just to let you know, any commercial plugs in the comments will be deleted. If you want to plug your software, then make your own YouTube channel.